Welcome back to Travoltine Presents Easy Riders. Hosted by Jeff Sweeney and Stuart Elmore. Covering the private lives of Pippa Lee with special guest Cole Bradley.
Hello, it's me, Alan Arkin, here on this episode of Travoltine.
Forgot he was in this for a second.
To tell you or to talk to you about the private lives of Pippa Lee.
So when you were lying there,
you guys
kind of doing right now.
You kind of talked about me.
Wait a minute. When you were lying there next to a nude Blake
On Edward
Lively,
Scissorhands.
when you were lying there next to a nude Blake Lively, like I just have to ask, you're 70 at this
This is
point,
a disaster.
and she's 28 in 2010.
Looking it up. I looked up a lot of people's ages, but not that one.
Look,
She's 21.
She's 21 in 2010.
Yeah, she's probably 20 when they're shooting it. Yeah.
Alan Arkin in 2010 is what, 70?
Yeah, fresh off an Oscar. Now, is he fresh off the Oscar, or has he actually knocked out something secretly
it's hard to keep a good man down, you know?
in the middle?
Yeah, you're telling me.
I'm not engaging with this bit.
I said before we started that there's not much I remember of this movie, but that I do remember.
Alan Arkin, yeah.
I do remember Alan Arkin with a 21-year-old Blake Lively because of how problematic.
Alan Arkin has wandered out of the room.
Okay.
This is not his first movie post Little Miss Sunshine. He actually books a shitload in between the two.
I mean, it's the Arkansas. He's
Including
cooking.
Santa Claus 3, Rendition, Sunshine Cleaning, good movie, Marley and Me, and the movie that is going to be the subject of a podcast I want to do with Jeff Sweeney one of these days.
Get Smart?
Which is Yep, there we go.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna put this. I'm not gonna put this on Mike. I have a really good idea for a Get Smart podcast to do with Jeff. I can do it with anyone. It's not like the Glee podcast that has to be done with Jeff. I have a good idea for a Get Smart.
I'll do
podcast.
Get Smart. Get Smart has the line that was in all the trailers where Steve Carell's like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" He's like, "Are you thinking, holy shit, I almost got impaled by a giant swordfish?" As there's a swordfish through the front window.
Stuart, did you know there's a sequel to Get Smart?
No.
This is true. This is one of the craziest things. We'll talk about this movie.
Which of the cast came back?
Okay, so this is the thing. There is a sequel to Get Smart that came out the same week as Get Smart came out. It is a straight to DVD movie. It was like an experiment in Hollywood in like, can we,
Make the two work together.
It is about Masioka from Heroes and someone else in Get Smart play like the tech guys in the company, Bruce and Lloyd. And they made a sequel to Get Smart that is about them going on a wacky adventure during the events of the plot of Get Smart, that you were supposed to watch the two of them in tandem.
Wow.
Total failure.
And it's 72 minutes long, so it's like a real movie.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Wow.
Stuart, have you seen Get Smart?
Yeah.
Do you remember how at the end it ends with like Patrick Warburton being introduced as the robot?
No.
The end of Get Smart, the film starring Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway, the final bit is that like this robot that the tech guys have been working on the whole time finally like gets up and it's Patrick Warburton as Jaime. Okay. He's like, I am Jaime. I'm Poison for Goose. I'm Jaime. I did say Poison for Goose. Gonna get into it.
Okay.
And he appears, and like he's kind of like one of the main characters in this like 72-minute spin-off movie or sequel.
Directed by Gil Younger, director of 10 Things I Hate About You and Black Knight.
Wow.
Yeah. Who did not direct Get Smart.
Interesting.
It's very weird that they did that.
I forgot Arkin was in Get Smart.
Oh, yeah, he was that line was like the laugh line in the trailer.
Can I start off with a hot take?
Yes.
Old man Arkin, like as like a star personality, not a fan.
Whoa.
That Oscar, fraudulent. The second, the Argo nomination, extremely fraudulent.
I'll go fuck yourself.
It's just because if Goodman had said that, Goodman has the Oscar.
Yeah.
It's just that Arkin said it because they thought it would be funnier coming from him. Yeah. That's all that performance
Well,
is.
you guys recently, Cole, on your podcast, you guys had the opportunity to talk about Tim Burton's 2019 Dumbo.
Yes.
A movie that has my favorite line delivery of all time.
Good movie.
From Alan Arkin. Where
he is in Dumbo.
Arkin is
Dumbo.
Michael Keaton's boss.
Yes,
he's like Walt Disney's boss in that movie. And at the end, Michael Keaton, who I think is like kind of like he's doing stuff in that movie.
He's doing a lot.
He's doing a lot.
At the very end, Alan Arkin is like the guy he's trying to impress. And like the fair is exploding. The circus is on fire. There's Dumbo flying around everywhere. It's a shit show. And Alan Arkin walks in seemingly from the craft service table. Like he still has the donut like residue. And he just goes, "This is a disaster. You're fired." And it's like the way he says, "This is a disaster," seemingly having no idea where he is or who any of these people are, is one of my favorite line deliveries in a movie.
I like
poor
that
Alan.
Poor Alan. He won an Oscar.
He
has Eddie Murphy's Oscar for playing an inspirational. He won an Oscar for playing an inspirational pedophile. That is what that character is.
I have not seen Little Miss Sunshine, so this is news to me.
Little Miss Sunshine either.
That movie heavily implies that he is molesting Abigail Breslin, but in like a good, fun way that like helps her come out of her shell. And I don't think that's actually what's intended. I think it's just that that's a bad movie with a bad script, and that's how it comes across. Ugh. You know who's in that movie is Paul Dano. You know who Paul Dano's married to is Zoe Kazan. You know what Zoe Kazan's in?
This movie.
Private Lives Pippa Lee. This is when they start trying to make Zoe Kazan happen. She is giving the exact same performance in this movie that she gives in It's Complicated.
Do you have a Zoe
It's
Kazan,
Complicated, one of the all-time
tape?
greats.
I think it's weird that it like never really worked for her. I get that that's partially her choice because she like half retired to have kids. Okay. I did think she was actually quite good in
The Big Sick.
No, she's bad in The Big Sick. She Said. No one liked She Said. I was actually just thinking about her because I didn't know she was in this movie, but I did just rewatch Me and Orson Welles, which she's really bad in.
She's in You and Me and Orson Welles?
She's in Me and Orson Welles.
How young is she in that movie?
It's the same. It's like the same time she's shooting this and shooting it. It's Complicated.
Okay.
It's the whole melange.
Got it.
You know what she's good in is the girl who got rattled.
She's okay in The Girl Who Got Rattled
from the Buster Scruggs. Anyway, I pulled it up, guys, just because I want to. Wow, this is a disaster.
Stuart,
I was giving it too much gumption earlier. It's even more subdued.
I like that movie. Stuart, have you seen It's Complicated?
No.
Jeff, you've seen It's Complicated.
I have one of the all-time greats.
One of a perfect masterpiece. Jeff, am I crazy to say that Zoe Kazan is playing the same character in this movie that she does in that movie? Except
I'll be
in this
totally.
movie,
I can't remember who she is in that movie.
She's one of Meryl's kids.
Is she the one who's married to
Krasinski? I don't think so. I think that's the other girl.
Yes, he is married to
This is the Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that movie's
2009
a masterpiece.
I may have seen it like a long time ago.
Oh, It's Complicated. Cooks.
It's just first of all, that movie's perfect. It's just the same performance where it's like Zoe Kazan's like playing a woman in her 20s who's like having to reckon with her parents' marriage failing, and her take on it is being like, I'm just a girl. I'm not supposed to handle these things.
Yeah.
Except in that movie, like that's the joke.
Yeah.
And in this movie, she's a war photographer.
Yes.
And I'm like, Zoe Kazan, I think you should be processing these things. And not just like screaming in your room and being like, everyone hates me. Everyone's sick of me.
That's fair.
It's not necessarily Zoe Kazan's fault that she's bad in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think she's good in this.
So, Stuart, can I describe a scenario and It's Complicated to you?
Sure.
Masterpiece.
So, there's like this sequence where the pitch of the movie is Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin are a divorced couple. Yeah. And they kind of have to reconnect around the wedding of their daughter and her fiance, played by John Krasinski.
Who should have won the Academy Award that year.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to.
It's one of the great performances.
So like
John Krasinski?
So there's essentially this sequence where like they're all at the hotel where
I think he's great, but I've never thought of
he is
sublime.
So there's like they're all at the wedding hotel basically.
Okay.
And John Krasinski is sitting with the two daughters.
Okay.
His fiance and then their sister Zoe Kazan.
Okay.
And the way that their table is positioned in the corner, he's the only one who's looking out towards like the elevator bay and the rest of the lobby of the hotel. Okay. The other two are looking towards him, towards the window. They can't see anything.
Okay.
And John Krasinski clocks like Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin like running in, holding each other's hands, going up the elevator. And he just clocks like, oh my God, they're having a fling at the wedding. And he clocks us. And like he's playing like, yeah, all right, honey, that's great. And then I forget, does Baldwin have a heart attack?
Baldwin has the heart attack because they fuck too good.
Yeah, they fuck too good, and Alec Baldwin has a heart attack.
Oh my God.
And the whole time this is happening, the two daughters are just like discussing the wedding very nonchalantly, and John Krasinski is clocking like ambulances pulling in, like stretchers being loaded into elevators, like they're rushing Meryl Streep out crying, like Steve Martin's coming to help, and he's clocking this all happening. With like the two daughters just being like, yeah, you know, and John Krasinski looks like the most terrified man you've ever seen in your life. Just sitting there like, yeah, honey, it's great. And he does it all in his eyes.
Yeah.
It is such a funny part. It's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Where he's just sitting there like having to process all of this happening.
Oh my God.
While still talking with his fiance and her sister like, yeah, I think those are good flowers. Those are the flowers we should get.
Now that Baldwin's beat the case, are you putting him back on the schedule?
Yeah, Baldwinning our next episode.
Oh, that has a whole other double meaning with Baldwinning.
Because I would like to do It's Complicated.
Yeah.
among some others, I would like to
Don't you think
It's
we would at least have done like the Streep cast or Krasinski cast or
Don't do
anything?
Krasinski cast. That's a lot of The Office. You do Streep. You guys should do Streep. Are you kidding me?
Streeping?
Can we go Streep?
I don't know. Because you have some hot takes on Meryl from her earlier works, right?
I don't think it's crazy to say that she becomes a movie star in her 60s.
Actually, yeah, that's not a crazy
No
statement.
one's watched.
But like, are you saying she's bad in those movies?
I'm saying no one's watched those movies, like, and no one watched them in the time.
That's
Like,
not the question. No one watched them. Are they bad? Is she bad?
I don't know. I think it was like a weird little like inertia thing where she'd make some Oscar movie and it would get like nominated like by standard, but no one cared about her beyond that. Like, well, she had 2 Oscars already.
Yeah.
Like, that's all my Meryl take is that people don't start actually caring about Meryl Streep until she's in her 60s when she like stumbles ass backwards into being a movie star.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love it.
You know who'd be so great to cover on the show if they had a comeback?
Who?
Alan Cumming.
Man, a comeback?
Comeback for Alan Cumming.
Coming back?
The coming back. Coming early? Okay. My private lives of Pippa Lee.
So what, can I just ask you, in an event that you do Alan Cumming on this show, how many people do I have to kill in real life to get on the Josie and the Pussycats episode?
You could probably get on
because I feel like that would be a bloodbath for that one specifically.
I think you would be murdered by Rachel Tilley.
Yeah, that's maybe she'd fight out.
On which movie?
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats. Another great movie.
Have you ever seen Josie and the Pussycats? Oh, it's the best. Oh,
You would love Josie and the Pussycats.
Alan Cumming's that guy in Spy Kids, right?
Yes, he's in Spy Kids.
I said that just for you guys. It was just
can I actually have the Spy Kids episode? I have a lot of Spy Kids takes.
Stuart, look at this run of movies we get to talk about. I'm going to skip all the things that like don't. We could talk about Goldeneye. We get to talk about Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, you should actually let me be on the
Josie and the
Goldeneye
Pussycats,
episode.
Spy Kids 2, X2, X-Men United,
Spice World,
Garfield the movie, Son of the Mask.
he's Nightcrawler.
He is Nightcrawler.
Totally did not think
Romy
of that.
and Michelle's high school reunion.
What a good one. I would do it.
He's so fucking good.
The
in
Incredible
Romy-
Nightcrawler.
He's so fucking good in Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
He's so great in X2, X-Men United.
You get to talk about a Ripley movie?
The fabulous Mr. Ripley.
No, he's in Ripley Underground.
Oh, Ripley.
He's in the Barry Pepper one.
Wait, oh my God. Barry Pepper.
Did you not know this?
I did not know Barry
Have I
Pepper.
ever given you my pitch for what I would do if I had access to a time machine?
Yes.
I promise you, listeners, this is more interesting than talking about the private lives of Pippa
Yes.
Lee. Stuart is currently reading the plot synopsis for this movie.
Because
we have
he
to,
forgot what
get it.
happened.
My if I had access to a time machine,
Yes.
I would make a heist movie starring every actor who played Tom Ripley as the heist crew. And you don't need to look it up because I can tell you
Okay,
it right
hit me
now.
with it.
It's Alain Delon, Dennis Hopper, Matt Damon, John Malkovich, Barry Pepper, Andrew Scott. Get those
Why?
guys in their prime to do a heist movie.
Sorry, I just had to pull up Floop Stream from Spy Kids.
You're going to get copyright struck for that sucker. That was 12 seconds.
We're not making money off of this. Who fucking cares?
Stuart, did you watch Spy Kids 5?
No.
A movie that came out last year.
I just found out that it exists. Someone's in it.
Gina Rodriguez and Zachary Levi.
Yeah,
and Billy Magnuson.
It was Magnuson. That's how I found this out, because we were talking. You and I were talking about Magnuson for some reason, and I looked at his IMDb.
It's one of Zachary Levi's extremely successful post Shazam movies.
Yeah, Rodriguez weirdly has become like a big Netflix guy.
Yeah,
post Alita Battle Angel,
and he's going back to all of the same like franchises. It's like Shark Boy and Lava Girl got a sequel.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl got like a half sequel.
They're in it.
One of them's in it.
Well, they're both the characters are in it.
I don't think
Shark Boy is in it, but he's played by someone else.
Oh, I thought he was never seen.
He wears a mask.
Okay.
So you can't see his face. It's like a big thing. But he also did Hypnotic, which cooks.
Hypnotic
is good.
Is one of the films of all time.
So you should watch Hypnotic.
I love Hypnotic. Hypnotic is earnestly like Robert Rodriguez is like 8.5.
So Hypnotic is a movie about Ben Affleck, who's as a cop who discovers that he has been hypnotized.
Don't spoil it.
It's basically like, what if Seven was dumb? It's the pitch of Hypnotic.
Hypnotic is a great movie about how Austin has been destroyed by
liberals,
tech guys.
Oh.
And the Elon Musks of the world. No, that's earnestly what it's about.
Oh.
Large swaths of it are shot in the death-proof filming locations.
Nice.
Pippa Lee. All right. I know we're out of time, Chris. Let's get into it.
British and Armenian.
Yes, she's British and Armenian. Pippa Lee. That is how we. No, Pippa Sarkeesian.
Pippa Sarkeesian is her birth name. It's such a good line where she's like, "It's British and Armenian," and I'm like, "Great."
We're gonna run it down. Stuart, how did you watch this movie? What were your conditions of watching this movie?
I watched it for free on some website.
Which website? This is important.
It's got ads on it.
Which one? Because it's on 3 of them.
I don't remember.
Stuart, did you watch it on Crackle?
It might have been Crackle.
I watched it on Crackle.
What were the other 2?
It's on Roku and it's on Plex.
I might have been. I'm pretty sure it's Crackle. I think I watched it on Crackle.
How'd you watch it, Jeff?
I'm going to tell you guys how I got fucking like cooked by this. So I started back at work this week. Wednesday was my first day. And I got home early on Wednesday. They're like, let me go from set early. And I got home at like 7 p.m. And the next day I didn't have to start until 10 a.m. So I'm like, I got time tonight. I'll watch Pippa Lee, see if I can just knock it out. So I paid for a rental because I'm like, I got to just like squeeze in as much time as I can. And so I started watching Pippa Lee. Eventually, my wife comes home and starts watching Pippa Lee with me as well.
Bad move on her part.
We get like 30 minutes in. She's like, I'm very confused as to what's happening. She's like, I have no idea what's happening in this movie. And we both realize we're hungry. So we go and we make dinner. We get talking. We do other stuff. By the time like I look back, I'm 30 minutes into Pippa Lee and I'm not going to have time to finish it tonight. So I'm like, all right, I'll try and finish it some other time this week. It's a 48-hour rental.
Yep.
Next 2 days go long. I don't have time to finish Pippa Lee. My rental expires.
Yep.
I get it this very morning, this Sunday. And I have to watch Pippa, the last hour of Pippa Lee, like in a very condensed time period.
Yep.
And so I'm like, fuck, I got to pay for the rental again. So I paid for this movie twice. I paid $8 to watch Pippa Lee.
Oh my God.
And Stuart, I was still 5 minutes late this morning because of me having to finish Pippa Lee.
You did other stuff too.
I did other stuff.
Did laundry.
I did laundry, emptied the dishwasher, made waffles for Becca. Finished my DGA book for
Jeff's a great husband.
Yeah. But anyway, so I paid $8 to watch The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, and I still cannot accurately tell you what happens in this movie.
I think I've got a pretty good
partway through.
I've got a pretty good head on my
right
shoulders vis-a-vis what happens in this movie.
Like, I kind of think I understand all the present day stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the flashbacks, it took me a long time to figure out what was happening and who are these people. Because she will just be like, Suki, and start talking about Suki and not elaborate for you that that's her mother right away. And you kind of just have to infer it. Which, if you're like very locked into this movie and not watching it after a work day, probably, like Cole, you probably figured out this is her mother.
Yeah.
But me watching this after work day, very tired. I was just like, who is this? What's happening? A smidge confusing.
Yeah, this might blow your guys' minds, but this movie was based on a novel.
Yeah,
you
Makes
might be
sense.
shocked to hear.
Written by the director of the movie.
Yeah, something she's done before to much greater success, I should say.
Which of her movies had she done it with?
Personal Velocity.
Okay.
3 Portraits. Which is probably her best regarded movie? That or Ballad of Jack and Rose, I would say.
It wins the Cassavetes Award at the Spirit Awards.
It does. It wins the best award and all of award season, which is the John Cassavetes Award. Earnestly my favorite award.
It's kind of an honor.
It's the best, and it wins Grand Jury Prize at Sundance.
Does it? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had never seen that movie. I did take the opportunity to watch it as part of homework for this.
You did the Rebecca Miller.
I just got to manage to do that one. Personal Velocity is incredible. This movie is very much Personal Velocity also ran. It's very much in that line. Jeff, I would like to congratulate you, by the way, that you increased the Private Lives of Pippa Lee's box office take by 2%.
Wow, 2%? No.
This movie made $337,000 at the U.S. box office.
Wow.
I'm making moves.
Sweeney.
Well, okay, hold on. Adjusted for inflation, made $480,000.
So maybe like 1%.
So maybe like 1%.
No, that's still 2% if you paid $8. If you rented it twice, that's still 2%.
I'm honored to hear that. Okay, so Winona.
4 times legs, though. 4
Winona-
times legs.
Winona's in this movie.
Winona in this movie.
Winona is in this movie.
I'm going to say something a little crazy. It's probably the best role she's had in a while.
Oh, I think she's real bad in this thing.
I think she's really funny in this.
I don't remember her in this movie.
She's giving a fucking ham sandwich performance in this thing.
I love this energy that we're so time crunched right now. This is how we should do every episode. We should have make plans at 2:15 every time.
Wait a minute. We're not that pressed, but like I do have to ask because Alan Arkin has an affair.
Yes.
With
Winona Ryder.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was like 40% sure of that.
That is what happened.
And a large chunk of the movie's last half hour is her doing pratfalls while attempting to commit suicide.
Yes.
This movie's tone is all over the place.
Yeah, it makes no
The movie's
sense.
total sensibility is
What's
not
the
strong.
scene you find out about the affair?
Because he comes home, or she comes home, Robin Wright, and Alan Arkin
After
is
she
just
kissed Keanu Reeves.
yes, and Alan Arkin is
Got
just
it.
like, I'm just chilling out in the bedroom.
I got a cum towel. Right here.
Don't worry
And she's
about the
What's
towel."
this cum towel?
Don't worry about the towel. And then she opens the bathroom door, and Winona's like sitting on the floor crying.
Oh yes.
The thing-
Okay, now
Okay.
it's coming back to me.
So
now.
Winona Ryder in this movie. The thing I like about Winona Ryder in this movie is that she's allowed to be funny in this movie, and I like that she's just every scene is her coming in, singing along, go crying, and then running
That
away.
is a great example.
I think it's really funny.
The thing
Like,
about Winona in this movie is she's in the first scene of this movie,
Yes.
right? Like, and she's like one of the first people who speaks.
Yes,
in,
I
the,
remember
in this
that part.
movie. Like the credits are still rolling, and Winona Ryder's getting a close up and talking, and
Yes.
I'm like, all right, good. This is good given
Yeah.
the purposes of why we're watching this. And then she does not have a second line in that scene and is gone for almost the entire first hour
Yes.
of the movie.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, what's going on?
There's like one scene where
dreading coming in to talk about this.
that was her only scene.
Well, I was sitting there wondering, like, I wonder if this is a cameo because I wonder if she and Rebecca are friends. And so I went and I looked it up, and no, they're not friends.
Well, except
They met. Well, they might be now. They met on the set of this, but I kind of assumed they were friends because I think of
Crucible
what Stewart's
connection.
going to say,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
that Rebecca Miller is married to Daniel Day-Lewis, who was in The Crucible, which was written by her father,
Arthur
Yes.
and
Miller.
that's how they met.
yes.
So I kind of just assumed
6 degrees
like-
of separation.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I assume she like threw Winona like a cameo in this thing until Winona picks back up in the second half
Yeah.
of the movie because they're friends. But it's not to do with that. Like they had never met before making this movie.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's very crazy.
It is very crazy.
But like,
Sorry,
I'm not gonna argue that this is like her best performance ever. And I'm, yeah,
Not even close.
that's not an argument I'm gonna make.
Give me your phone. I need to plug into your letterbox.
No. The argument I'm gonna make is that
I
after
nearly
this
forgot she was in this movie.
after this run we've been having, where she has not been the problem with movies, but the movies have just given her nothing to do. Talking about The Informers, The Last Word, Sex and Death 101, the Darwood Awards. It's nice to just have her be allowed to just be the goofy fifth comedic performance in this movie. Like she's like the comic relief when she comes in and just like sure. Like I think she's
Literally just like that.
Astounding impression, listeners. I need to make that clear.
Yeah.
Because like you're right, from the dinner table scene to her on the bathtub floor.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
There's like
Is there
one scene,
anything
there's
in
a
this?
scene where she like
One or two scenes in the middle, yeah.
she goes out like to brunch with Robin Wright. And
fucking remember
and she's
this.
just, she's just like, I think I'm gonna leave my husband.
All right. You guys need to cancel your Twister tickets. Here's what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the setup. We're going to go find the TV. We're going to record a live commentary.
Oh my God.
Remember what happens in this movie.
I thought the movie was at 2:45.
Cool.
But we
Is
should-
it 2:45?
Yeah, but we got it.
We don't have travel time. This movie's 100 minutes long. We got to move the setup. That's going to take at least 15 minutes.
Get the TV on.
You got too much bullshit here.
Pippa
Oh, it's
Lee
right there. We're going. Okay.
So the thing
We got to
about
watch so many ads on Crackle for like local ambulance chasers.
so Cole, the only reason you're here
Yes.
is because
I was forced to do this.
when we first told you, hey, come on for what do you want for Easy Riders? You said I want the 3 Keanus.
Well, specifically, I said I want these 2 movies, and then it was like, oh, those are both the Keanu movies. Let me have the 3rd Keanu movie. That was specifically my logic.
And so like what is he doing?
Do what you're doing.
Okay. So Cole,
He's plugging in the television.
so oh my God. So you got Dracula. You were with us for Scanner Darkly not too long ago. And you're on Destination Wedding upcoming. And
That's
then
going to be a fucking insane
I was
recording.
scrolling
we need
through.
to set up like several hours in advance just to be safe.
So I like was scrolling through Winona's movies. And I'm like, what is this Private Life of Pippa Lee movie I'm seeing? And I click on it and I notice Keanu Reeves' face in the top right corner.
I'm so glad you found that out, by the way.
Above Winona Ryder, who's on the bottom of the page. And I'm like, Cole, you said you want the Keanus. You got to take the Keanus. So you're coming on for Private Lives of Pippa Lee.
Which, up until we recorded the Scanner Darkly episode, I thought was a dumb children's movie.
Yes.
Thought it was from some fucking like Odd Life of Timothy Green garbage.
This has a similar energy to The Odd Life of Timothy Green or like Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
And then I found out it was a Rebecca Miller movie, and I was like, oh,
Nanny
okay.
McPhee
I have to, like,
type.
I should take this seriously.
Yeah. And so, that's the reason you're here today.
Yes.
Before Stuart does what he's about to do.
Well, I guess we're recording a live commentary of the
Private
Private Lives of Pippa Lee now.
What?
So the Private Lives of Pippa. We're picking up with Winona after that kind of abysmal run that I had mentioned.
Do we just want to kill the recording and start fresh?
Just restart
You guys keep talking. I got this.
with like where she's basically just been doing like movies that are a favor to her. She's in it as a favor to a friend. Or like it's like just some really low budget indie that she's like getting conscripted for.
This is a low budget indie, to be clear.
This has real
very low
people
budget
in it.
indie.
This movie has real people in it. Yeah. After talking about The Last Word, Sex and Death 101, Darwin Awards, this has like the veneer of a real movie.
Who's in Sex and Death 101? Okay, I keep saying this to you guys, and you don't believe me. The Informers was supposed to be a big deal.
I know, but it
was
simply is
supposed
not.
to be a big deal.
Look at the poster for Sex and Death 101. This is like what we were. This is what we.
Okay, I was like, is this the Simon Baker movie?
This is the Simon Baker movie.
Oh, Daniel Waters directed this. The worst Waters brother.
Yes, it's
The
a
worst
nightmare.
Waters.
I am the world's only Mark Waters tourist.
We talked about Mark Waters on that episode.
Yeah, because he's a great director. Have you seen He's All That?
I've not.
The gender flip straight to Netflix She's All That remake starring Addison Rae that is one of the most purely evil movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my life.
I remember your pitch with this that this thing is evil.
Pippa Lee.
He's Stuart is talking into his microphone right now.
Private. Wait.
Is it just on YouTube?
This whole time.
This whole movie's just on YouTube.
Okay. All right, we got Winchester Capital Management. That's how you know. Well, we gotta give them a countdown so they can sync this up. So you gotta start over.
I guess we're recording a live commentary of the police.
5. All right, so it's the YouTube channel. Hold on a second. It's
You gotta
Popcorn Flicks. Popcorn Flicks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play.
Pippa.
There we go. All right, so you should be.
So
should have this
Winchester
synced up.
Capital Management, which is a great sign that you're watching a real movie.
Yes.
Can you turn subtitles on so we can parse the text?
I got you, boo boo.
Thank you. I actually can't see past your microphone.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Closed captioning.
So this is a Robin Wright-esque Robin Wright vehicle, right?
Yes.
What do we think of Robin Wright as an actress?
I think
Amazing.
She has
and if
been
you say
exceptional.
anything different, I will slice your throat.
Calm down.
Well, where were you going with that?
I was just asking you guys what you thought.
Where were you going with that?
I was asking your opinion on Robin Wright.
Okay. What's your opinion on Robin
Why
Wright?
do we love Robin Wright so much?
Because she's
Jenny.
Jenny and Claire Underwood.
She's quite good as Claire Underwood. I've never been a big Robin Wright guy. Jenny is one of the worst performances in screen
She
history. though
is
it's
failed by.
not necessarily her fault.
Yeah, she's failed by that script.
There he is. Alan Arkin.
It's embarrassing how much.
That is Mike Binder, by the way, who has just directed the Adam Sandler 9/11 drama "Reign Over Me." The guy with the microphone.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He directed some other movies too.
You know what's funny about Reign Over Me?
Nothing. I hear it's a bummer.
No, that's the I remember. You know how I learned about that movie? Game Informer. I used to get Game Informer when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I got like the Game. You guys remember Game Informer, the magazine?
Yes.
What?
I wasn't a fucking nerd.
So Game Informer was like the magazine. It was like GameStop's magazine.
I'm kidding. I actually did get Game Informer.
Yeah. You're fucking right. It was GameStop's magazine.
Yeah.
And it would have like game information and reviews and whatnot.
Grand
I would
Theft Auto
get-
6 is delayed for another 20 years.
But like you would look through and like they had a section called movies about video games. And it was like most movies like based on video games have been bad.
Oh, that's
And
right.
most like but here are some movies not based on video games but like have video games as a plot point. And Reign Over Me, the Don Cheadle, Adam Sandler 9/11 drama.
Winona's on screen right now, by the way.
She's
on screen.
Has like a subplot where the two of them are getting over their grief by playing the video game Shadow of the Colossus.
That's what it is. Yes.
Oh.
And so I learned about
2006, man.
I
That
learned
shit's
about
crazy.
Reign
PlayStation
Over Me because of Game Informer being like, this movie knows that video games are art and you should go see it and respect. That's all I have to say about Reign Over Me.
So here's the thing. Is that Cornel West?
That is Cornel
Holy
West.
shit. I missed that the first time I saw this.
Cornel West is current presidential candidate. Cornel West is in
maybe
this
the
movie.
implication he's playing himself. So like the conceit of this movie is Robin Wright plays Pippa Lee. Famous bad actress Robin Wright. We can all agree that she's a bad actress. No, she's just not.
Careful there.
She's a little boring as a screen performer, is what I'm saying.
In your opinion.
And my opinion's correct.
No, it's not. Robin Wright's a great actor.
She plays a woman of unclear age, and we can talk about that later. Because I think that's one of the more confusing things about this movie. And someone literally, like, there's a joke of someone not knowing how old she is in this movie. She plays a woman who is married to a much, much, much older man.
30 years older than her.
30 years older than her. So I guess she's implicitly in her 50s, right?
Yeah. Well, no, she'd be in her like mid 40s if Alan Arkin's in his mid 70s.
But he's like,
how old is he supposed to be
don't
in
they
modern
say
day?
80 at one point?
Is he 80?
So she's got to be like a pushing. She's okay. This is the problem: is she's supposed to be around?
Oh, but how old are her kids? Her kids are like in their 20s.
Yeah, so if she's like 50, that math adds up.
Oh, she
That means
could
she-
also be 40. She could have had their kids when
Sure.
when she was 4.
Alan Arkin
20, yeah.
is 77 or 75 in real life.
Because this is the point I'm making is I'm not super concerned with how old anyone is in real life because I don't think it maps onto this. Because it's unclear how old she is, and I think that is like problem number one with this movie is that we have such this disconnect between the two narratives because half the movie is flashbacks of her wayward youth before she met this guy.
Yeah.
And there's such a huge disconnect between the two narratives that I think is partially because you don't know how old Robin Wright is. Now, I can tell you how old Robin Wright is when she shoots this movie.
Yeah, like, are you saying this is at Robin Wright's fault?
No, I think it's the movie's fault.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Especially when we get to like Blake Lively and who's the
Alan
younger...
Arkin does not
it's the younger,
between the
the
two
younger version of
realities.
Alan Arkin is Alan Arkin.
So Robin Wright...
With a wig.
I never die, I'm temporal.
Robin Wright is 41 when she shoots this movie, or maybe 40 when she shoots this movie.
Like, this is weird.
Keanu Reeves in this movie, who is her love interest, is playing someone who is
Like 23.
No,
they
he's
say
like
35. They say 35.
Did they say 35?
But B, supposed to be explicitly younger than
Her. Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is older than Robin Wright.
In real life.
Problem number 2. Problem number 3 is that she and Winona are supposed to be playing contemporaries.
Yeah.
Winona is in old age makeup that I think is supposed to make her look about 50. But Winona is actually 35 when she makes this movie. So I'm watching all this and I'm like, I don't actually know how old Robin Wright is supposed to be. Now, if this movie is set in... she's not supposed to be a hippie, right? So I think she's supposed to be probably around like 50 or something, but you're like, because Keanu looks rough in this movie, and like she looks younger than Keanu.
Yeah.
I love
which
his
she
tight-fitting
is.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
To be clear, Robin Wright, once again, younger than Keanu Reeves for like 2 years. But I think it's supposed to be playing someone who's like 20 years older than him almost.
Yeah. It's so bizarre, the aging in this movie.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense. Like, Cole, you're describing, like, everybody's playing older or younger than they're supposed to be. There's only one recast for a younger version of a person. Like,
2 technically.
2? Who's
Yeah.
it?
She was just on screen because there's 2 actresses who play young
Pippa.
Robin Wright.
Oh, two young
There's the
Pippas.
child actress too.
Also, we did quickly skip over that one of the 5 people running for president this year was just in this movie.
Yeah, well, you said it. We just didn't
Yeah.
acknowledge it because we're watching.
Cornel West was in this movie.
Cornel West is ostensibly running for president.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the 5 presumptive presidential
What
nominees.
party is he running under?
He was PSL for a hot second, but now I think he's unaffiliated, right?
He's currently running
moron. PSL?
independent. He's not running as People's
Yeah,
Party.
Party of Social. Oh, and he was attached to People's for a
Yeah, it
second.
was People's Party.
Wasn't he also with PSL for a brief?
It says he was
moment?
with People's Party and then Green Party, but now he's
sworn he was
independent.
PSL at one point
It says
too.
Justice for All Party in some states. Yeah. But Stuart, the people who are running for president is Cornel West, Robert Kennedy,
Jr.
Jill Stein,
Jill Stein's running again?
Chase Oliver.
Oh my God. It's like, that time of the election when everybody looks up all the third-party candidates
Yeah.
and still decides not to vote for them.
I voted for Howie Hawkins. It's actually you guys' moral duty if you live in a non-swing state
Folks,
to vote for
folks.
the party. I was going to say that.
Wait, say that
Folks,
again?
folks,
moral dirty.
guys.
Yeah?
As I'm saying this, Joe Biden has announced he is not running for re-election.
Holy shit!
Oh! Whoa!
Took you fucking long enough. Hold on. Breaking fucking news.
Yeah, Stuart, please tell me we are still recording.
We are still recording.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Wait.
Joe Biden has just announced.
He tweeted it 7 minutes ago.
I'm going to read. I will. Okay. Can I read it for the people?
Okay, it's not on my Apple News yet.
I'm reading the press release right now. Do we have noisemakers? Get fucked, bozo.
Okay. Okay, I will for the listener at home who's listening to this episode in 3 weeks when Kamala Harris has already been elected at the DNC. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we've made great progress as a nation. Today, America is the strongest economy in the world, made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression.
Hold on
We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of the party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express the deepest gratitude to those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I have always have, that there's nothing America can't do when we do it together. We have to just remember we are the United States of America, Joe Biden. Folks, this is no longer a Pippa Lee.
I know.
Stuart, this is another Pippa Lee episode.
Jesus.
I'm so glad he spent 3 weeks throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah.
Because he's a psychotic narcissist. And
So
just
what was
let
that? What was that press release? Was that just the White House?
That was just the White House.
That was a White House press release.
Well, it was on his personal Twitter account. Stuart, here's the thing.
I know he doesn't run it.
No. Here's the thing: is that when you're the president, there's a very specific delineation between what you're allowed to do campaigning and what you're allowed to do officially as the president.
Okay.
So it was released on his personal press stuff, not from the White House.
Okay.
It's the same thing as like technically you can't hold campaign events within the White House.
Yeah, right.
So that's why they all hold them in the Rose Garden, and then that's still like kind of 50-50. But basically like it was from his like private stuff. I want everyone to know that while this is happening, there was just a serial commercial playing in the Private Lives of Pippa Lee.
we are, to be clear, watching the Private Lives of Pippa Lee right now. Maria Bello is on screen. Maria Bello good in this movie. She doesn't get much to do, and it's like a bit of a ham sandwich performance, but I think she like sells it with the 2 scenes. I'm just so glad that like he wasted everyone's time and had to make the party be like publicly in disarray. What smart political instincts. Mm-hmm. From one of history's greatest bad politicians.
I'm texting my wife right now.
Woo!
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's so good. I'm sorry. I was assured by 1 million people on Twitter that because he's already the official nominee that they can't do a changeover, even though he's not the nominee yet. I was told that this was legally impossible for him to do.
I would like you boys to know, nothing makes me happier than being in this exact moment. When this happened.
Oh my God.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be than discussing the private lives of
Am I
Pippa Lee.
allowed to smoke in your apartment?
If you have a vape, you can hit your
No,
vape.
I have a cigarette.
Okay, you could go out. No, you can't smoke inside.
Damn it.
Fuck.
Not even on a special occasion.
Fuck.
Do we need to come back and do this next week?
I don't. Oh my God.
How much more discussion can we accomplish about the private lives
We
of
have
Pippa
not
Lee?
talked about it at all.
Mount Rushmore.
So let me run through.
Wait, guys, I think there is something I have to do real quick.
What?
I'm going to Joe Biden's IMDb.
Okay. How do you turn his mic? Which slider is Jeff?
This is Jeff.
I'm gonna just knock that down to the very bottom so it's off. So here's what this movie is. Robin Wright plays a woman of indeterminate age who is married to a much older man who is very wealthy. They have moved to a retirement home because he's in poor health.
Our friend, a friend of the show, Mark Tilley, just texted Biden read the Aaron Sorkin piece. I'm now getting a phone call from former guest of the show, Dave Manzalillo, who I'm going to put on mic. Hi, Dave. I know what just happened. I want you to know you are live on Travolting right now.
We're recording a live commentary is the thing.
I'm on my one wheel, bro.
Yeah, we were live recording an episode.
I just wanted to check in on the drive.
Oh, Dave, Joe Biden just dropped out.
What the fuck? Going to go get Indian food, asking how the fucking hard drive went.
Yeah, so we were recording an episode of Travolting with Cole Bradley here, about the private lives of Pippa Lee. And I was literally on the page for 2024 presidential elections because...
Oh, yeah, you froze.
Yeah.
You shut down.
Yeah, because a guy...
Derailed.
Yeah, no, because one of the contenders for this year, Cornel West, who's like, you know...
Dr. Cornel
West, who's like a third-party candidate this year, it made a cameo in this movie. So I was like, oh, Stuart, let me read for you the people who are running for president in 2024 as a bit. And so I pulled it up and I'm like, Cornel West, Robert Kennedy Jr., Jill Stein. And Stuart made his little joke about Jill Stein. Donald Trump. And then I'm like, what's this now? not Joe Biden?
Once again, just stating.
It was, deeply the funniest possible timing for this all to have happened.
Just would like to once again say we are still actively watching the movie as this happens.
The movie is playing. Okay, guys, can I read for you some of Joe Biden's YouTube IMDb credits?
Sure.
Jeff,
you paid $8 to watch this movie.
Yeah, I did pay $8 to watch this movie. I'm on. I would like everyone to. I want to read one credit that Joe Biden has on IMDb. Dave, stay on, and then you can head off right after this.
Stuart has just Googled who is Kamala Harris.
This might be our best episode. Stuart,
right. Now all the breaking news outlets are flooding.
We might have broken it on Travolting first, folks.
Yeah.
Folks,
put this episode up right
if
now.
If you are listening to this and you don't know that Joe Biden dropped out, something is seriously wrong.
Yeah, this episode comes out in 3 weeks.
So there's this guy, I don't know, his name is Hosea Rises. He's probably some like alt-right, YouTube guy. But he puts all of his things on IMDb.
Oh, he's like me in undergrad.
And one of his credits that Joe Biden is credited for, are you looking at this, Cole?
No, I'm just looking at Twitter.
Is Frank Oz destroys Biden in brutal tweet. Fucking Frank Oz destroys Biden. There's a fucking Fozzie Bear coming in with the, all right, I'm gonna take
you know what
Dave, I'll let you go. Thank you for coming on Travolting.
You're gonna have to put my feature in the fucking in the title.
Yeah, featuring Dave Manzolillo.
Yes, surprise guest star.
Should I just call all of our former guests and ask them for their thoughts on this?
do you want me to call Tilly right now?
Get Mark Tilly on the horn. Stuart, are you okay with this episode getting completely derailed?
Yeah.
I actually had things I wanted to say about this movie.
As long as we make it to Twisters on time.
No, the thing is, we will come back to this movie.
Well, we have like 45 minutes.
Dave, good talking with you. All right, we're calling up Mark Tilly.
He's not going to answer because it's me, but if you call him, he'll answer. Yeah, he just hung up on me.
Oh my God. Here I go. I'm going to call him. To the listener at home, I hope you enjoy this.
I fucking told you! I fucking told you!
We're calling former guests of the show for their live thoughts on Joe Biden dropping out of the presidential election because we were mid-record.
Wait, what happened?
Mark, you're on the line.
How is Stuart doing? Is he all right?
Stuart was Googling who is Kamala Harris.
Fuck off, guys.
Stuart.
Joe guy. I know Stu loves Joe.
What? You think I love Joe? Oh my God.
Stu loves Joe. Joe has family who are firefighters.
Fuck off, Mark. All right, let's hang up.
Can I say something?
Yes.
About firefighters real quick.
Whoa. this is going to get pretty bad.
I think Glenn Powell should, in fact, remake Backdraft because I think it would be nice if Backdraft was a good movie.
Honestly, I've never seen Backdraft,
never
so I
seen
definitely
Backdraft.
know
Well, I watched
My
Backdraft.
firefighter movie is Ladder
Mark,
49.
I'll see you in a little bit.
That movie fucking sucks.
That movie's great.
Not enough firefighters die in it.
I think the right amount of firefighters die.
It should be
correct-
more like Ladder 49.
The correct amount of firefighters die in Ladder 49.
I've never seen Ladder 49. So Blake Lively's in this movie.
Blake Lively's in this movie. She starts doing amphetamines.
This
Her mom
is
does.
like her first like grown-up movie, I think. Let's see. Blake Lively is currently talking to Maria Bello about speed on camera. Blake Lively, who is half retired but not really in our current moment. Let's see. So, yeah. This is the year after she does Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2.
Yes.
And the year before she does The Town, which is like maybe the most performance has ever been a child star being like, take me seriously.
Yeah.
I don't particularly care for her in The Town. I like her in this movie. Like, I like her and I like Robin Wright in this movie, despite the fact that one of those people is a great actress and one of them is not. I think they're giving like equivalently good performances. I just think the problem with... Here's the thing about this movie is if you did not tell me that this was a movie made by someone who was like known for making like smart movies about the interior lives of women, I would not believe that to be the case, right? Mm-hmm. This feels like a movie made by like a dumb guy. And I'm sorry to be like reductive like that, but this movie is, I'm getting a call from a debt collector. That's okay. They're not looking for me. This movie is like... The gender politics of this movie are very strange because you've got this like imbalance, right? Where it's like, okay, it's about a woman married, like a sugar baby almost, right? Like a trophy wife hitting middle age, realizing she wants something more out of life. But that's also like a realization she has to have because then when we get to the flashback scenes, you start to realize that she pursued Arkin. When she's like a young, super sexy, like party girl, she pursues Arkin, not because of his money, but because she wants stability. She wants to grow
Safety,
up. And she thinks marrying a much older guy is going to be the thing that like speed runs her into becoming an adult. After having this like wayward, like drug-addled youth. So that's like an interesting complication, but that's not one that ever really like reflects necessarily on what Robin Wright is doing or this idea that like Robin Wright has this sexual awakening by having an affair with Keanu Reeves, like does never actually seems to end up in the same movie as what's going on with the Blake Lively stuff.
Yeah. I agree with all that.
And then there's this third act twist that I think kind of explains everything, which is that he was married to Monica Bellucci, but when Monica Bellucci found out about the affair, she shot herself in the head in front of the two of them. So Pippa Lee feels like she needs to make this marriage work more so than anything else because she feels like otherwise it would be, she literally says it, otherwise it would be like spiting this woman's death. So why is that a twist in the movie? Like, I feel like the movie needs to start from there and start from it being this very fucked up situation and build to questions of like what validity is there to the relationship. Stuart and Jeff are not listening to me.
No, I'm listening to you right now.
I am.
They're
I'm
both on their phones.
No, I am listening to you.
I know.
I am. No, you're making all great points. The one thing I will say, and maybe I'm mishearing you, Cole. I don't think any of that is necessarily 100% on the fault of the actors.
I don't think it's the fault of the actor. No, that's what I'm saying is like
I think it's the writing and the direction.
Yeah, it's the writing and the direction. And it's like surprising this movie comes from Rebecca Miller.
Yeah.
Who is, not maybe like an A-list talent, but has like a reputation for making these more like layered, literary, sensitive character studies. And this movie is kind of all over the place and wacky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never thought of this. I mean, listen.
If you told me this was a Daniel Waters movie, I'd be like, okay, this is Daniel Waters trying to take himself seriously. Right? Like, it feels more in line with like some fucking hacky, shitty screenwriter trying to write like a serious Oscar play than it does, the movie Rebecca Miller makes right after Ballad of Jack and Rose, which was her most high-profile film. That's my take.
I agree. I mostly agree with your take.
Performances are, I think, generally good in this. I think Winona's a little all over the place. I think Keanu's completely checked out.
Yeah, Keanu, I'm going to try my best to lock in.
I'm going to have to pause real quick. Angelica just parked her car, so when she comes home,
We have to tell her. Does she need my microphone?
I don't know if she knows.
Okay.
I
Holy
don't
shit.
know if she knows.
Holy shit.
Okay, so when
we hear the door open, just,
she
Start
has to come
screaming.
yeah.
Okay.
So right now we're watching the cake stuff. And I do like the cake stuff, which is this idea that like someone's been breaking into their house and eating cake in the middle of the night and making a mess. And so they set up security cameras and she figures out that it's her, that she's having this like psychotic episode.
This was weird.
This is the most interesting stuff in the movie for me is this idea that like, and you figure out what it is later, is that she's been like sublimating the guilt over Monica Bellucci's death the whole time, that she's starting to snap, that she's like putting up this face, which would be interesting if I knew that Monica Bellucci was dead, right? Like the darker comedy version of this, the like Todd Solondz version of this is, I think, the smarter version. I think I hear her footsteps.
Yeah, she's probably at the door unlocking it right now.
I hope she has not been on her phone.
I was going to say, like, if she's been on her phone at all, then she probably knows. But
yeah.
But if I know Angelica, I know she doesn't check her phone all that often. Or at least if she does, her phone's often dead. So we'll
honestly fair.
I love my girlfriend so much, but she does not know how to charge her phone.
Wow. She has that in common with her boss.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, this is like how I found out. I want you to see this is how I found out.
Oh, that's so Jeff like shut down when he was looking at that earlier, and that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I brought this page up as a bit.
Minutes. That was minutes.
My dad is on like a week-long bike trip right now, so I doubt he's looking at his phone, so I cannot wait for him to find this out.
I just texted my Republican family that Joe Biden drops out. I'm waiting to get the text or calls.
Yeah. Stuart, I like anytime politics comes up on the show, you always bring up your Republican family and how you just like to like throw grenades in the room.
Yeah, I do like to throw grenades in the room. Don't you know the vaccines are microchips designed to give your kids autism?
Oh my God. Pippa Lee is still playing, guys.
Yeah, we've been watching it this whole time.
Oh, and look at the background. Look who it is.
It's Keanu.
It's blurry Keanu.
Cole, you talked about how this is a bad point for Keanu, right? In his career.
Is it a bad point? I'm trying to think what's going on here.
This is like
this is what, 4 years after Constantine?
Look at his tight-fitted shirt.
Yeah. Again, playing, I think we are meant to look at Keanu Reeves and be like, he's 15 years younger than Robin Wright.
Yes.
And there's problem number one with this movie is that
Is his hair dyed?
I think Keanu's always had perfect hair. Yeah, it's definitely dyed.
Yeah.
It's definitely dyed.
Come on.
So this is like 2008, 2009. Like,
it's just that it's a bad dye.
I know.
Is my issue.
I know he's dead. But there's a world where it's like Heath Ledger in this part, which is probably something he would have done, and it makes more sense. Not to like toot my own horn, but like if it were Colin Farrell, right?
Yeah.
Who is absolutely making movies of this scale at this point in his career, it makes more sense. Not just someone who's literally younger than Robin Wright, but someone we don't associate as being of like the same movie star window as Robin Wright. Because that's the other problem with Keanu is...
Hey, Angelica?
Yes.
Have you looked at your phone?
Have you looked at your phone?
No.
Can you come here?
Do you want to do it? You get the honors.
Stuart, you get the
Stuart
honors.
gets the honors.
Are you recording?
We're still recording.
Yeah,
It's
we're
fine.
recording.
It's fine. Come here. You got to be close to the mic.
Go to Jeff's mic.
Just be close.
Angelica.
Okay. Hi again.
Joe Biden dropped out of the race
As of
like 5 minutes ago.
do you want to know how I found out? We were a presidential candidate appeared in this movie, one of the third party candidates, Cornel West. And I went to this page and I scrolled to the top, and this is what I was confronted with. the Wikipedia editors informed me. We wanted you to find out live on air. This is no longer a Pippa Lee episode.
I'm doing my goddamn
Mr. Cole is actually trying to make this a Pippa Lee episode, which we will still...
So you're telling me there's hope?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes. There's a shot. So you're telling me there's a chance.
you're telling me there's a chance.
Yes.
It depends on who they get to
It's time for
replace.
us to get coconut pills.
Is it going to be Kamala?
Stuart,
Kamala and-
Stuart,
Sorry.
It's
Stuart,
Kamala.
are you ready to fall out of a coconut tree? Are you ready to exist in the context of all...
You're getting it wrong. You don't fall,
Yeah, you
out,
don't
of
fall
a
out of a
coconut
coconut
tree
tree.
because you exist in the context of all that has come before you.
Yes.
What are you guys referencing right now? I do not know.
I want to sing the way she sang Wheels on the Bus,
Yes.
but I can never get
I
it
can't-
because
it's
it's
impossible.
so bizarre. So Julianne Moore is also in this movie, by the way.
For 2 days.
Playing a
She did all-
lesbian pederast. But so no, my point with Keanu, that is a Roomba.
That is a Roomba.
My
Yeah.
point with Keanu is that the problem with Keanu and why I don't actually
Yeah.
care per se about the age gap. Jeff, it's so hot in here.
Jeff, come on.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You think you just fell out
Oh, this is a remix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing she said once. I don't particularly like care about the fact that they've aged up Winona to be like a Robin Wright contemporary because as movie stars, Winona and Robin Wright are contemporaries, right?
Right.
The problem is they're also contemporaries with Keanu. So I look at
yeah.
my issue is less that Keanu is literally older than Robin Wright, even though I get that that's like a big Hollywood problem. My issue is more that I look at Keanu and Robin Wright on screen together, and I'm like, they are of the
They're
same
the same age.
generation,
Yeah, they're
and
the
they're
same
not
age.
meant to be of the same age. You know, if that makes sense, and that's why I'm like, I can't take any of it seriously. Weirdly, Julianne Moore of a later generation movie star
Yeah.
than them. 'Cause she breaks.
Julianne Moore
ten-
is supposedly playing young. She seems to be playing young in this, right?
It's
That's like
unclear, man.
It's, yeah.
that's
very
the problem
unclear.
is that everybody is
This movie seems to think like 30s is 35 is like the new 20s in 2010.
I
though.
guess.
Because Blake Lively, who's playing 20s, acts like a teenager.
I think she is playing a teenager.
You think she's like 17, 18?
I think she's like 15 in these scenes that we're watching right now.
Oh,
and like 17,
okay.
18 when she meets.
When she meets
Yeah,
her.
because she's staying with the aunt because she's a minor. Like that's what's going on.
Oh,
So
okay.
just to break down the Blake Lively narrative is Blake Lively's mom is a speed freak. This leads to fights between young Pippa Lee and her mother. She ends up running away. She goes to live with her aunt she's very close with. Her aunt is a lesbian.
Yes. Dating Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore plays her aunt's girlfriend who starts molesting young Pippa Lee. Like kind of coercing her into taking
say, like,
erotic photographs.
Child pornography.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
With another adult woman, which young Pippa Lee really enjoys doing.
Yeah.
Her aunt catches them in the act and throws Pippa Lee out because she's seduced. That's how it's read, right? That she's seduced
Yeah.
the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then Pippa Lee becomes this like stripper and wild party girl who
Essentially
ends up
Jenny
falling,
Forrest Gump kind of type.
she becomes
Yeah.
like a Jenny Forrest Gump type, ends up falling in with like the New York art scene, which is where she meets this wealthy editor played by Alan Arkin, and then ends up deciding to marry him, even though he's already married, because she wants to leave this like chaotic life behind.
I think I was talking to Angelica about this, right? Where I was trying to describe what I thought the Private Lives of Pippa Lee was about. And it's
Yeah.
like, imagine you're watching Forrest Gump from Ginny's perspective, but instead of Ginny settling down with a childhood best friend, she settles down with a rich older guy to feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what the Private Lives of Pippa Lee is.
Yeah.
Like comes from a bad childhood with like some parental problems.
Not even that bad of a
Not even
childhood.
that bad either,
This
yeah.
is a thing I think is interesting about this movie that I don't know that it lands is this idea of she runs away from home.
Biden has just endorsed Kamala.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
He has to.
As a second
What the
thing.
fuck are you doing if you don't? The thing about this movie is like, she runs away from home more so because she thinks that her mom is like tacky, right? That like what she finds most difficult about her mother's drug abuse is how like irritating it makes her mother. And then she ends up in this sexually like, dangerous scenario, but she kind of enjoys it as a sexual awakening, even though she's straight.
Yeah.
She's just like interested in being viewed as a sexual object because she comes from this religious household and then stumbles ass backwards into being like, no, I actually don't like any of those things. It always zags where you think it's going to zig vis-a-vis the difficult childhood. Do you get what I'm saying? She's not fucked up in the way Jenny is.
Exactly. And I agree with you. And that's why like I want to say, but I don't think I have the right to say it, where it's like, well, I wonder in the book if her childhood was more fucked up. But you can't say that because the author directed and wrote the screenplay of the movie.
Yeah, adapted her own thing.
So it's like you can't say if she like left out any more childhood trauma to justify her teenage years.
So not to make this about Personal Velocities, which I know you haven't seen, but no. I said that this movie is very much like in the lineage of Personal Velocity. And let me explain that real quick. So Personal Velocity it's based on a short like stories in a short story collection that she wrote. It's another like Rebecca Miller adapting her own work for the screen.
Yeah.
And it's 3 short films that don't really ever intersect. And they're all about women leaving their husband, but in odd ways. So the first story is about a woman like fleeing her abusive husband and starting over. Mm-hmm. But again, there's a swerve on it, which is she's mostly leaving the abusive husband for the kids. She's kind of like complicatedly likes getting beaten.
Yeah.
But she doesn't like her kids seeing her get beaten. So that's why she leaves. The second story is a woman kind of coming to terms with the fact that she will just end up divorcing the boring guy that she married for security at some point. Mm-hmm. And the third one is about a woman like realizing she's pregnant and having a freak out about like, is the guy who's knocked me up the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with, right? Like they're all like swerves on it in the same way that this is a swerve on it. But maybe it's the reduced runtime of those 3 things. Maybe it's that they star better actors. Maybe it's that, she wrote this novel after she made that movie, so maybe she's like thinking redundantly at this point.
Yeah.
But the 3 women in that movie, for all that they are like very complicated and don't go in the directions you think that those stories are going to go in, like it all feels locked in, of a piece, very coherent. And this movie is like 1,000 different ideas that don't land. Jeff, do you want to call someone else?
I just want to point it out that Winona's back on screen after how. Well, let me check.
Yeah, so it's
30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes.
38 minutes into a 100-minute movie. So we
get a second Winona scene.
About the halfway point, like a little under the halfway point.
Yeah.
Winona's back in. Now, this is another really good scene, though, that I like in the abstract. I'm just going to tell you what it is that she says this thing in this movie where she says, like, marriage is about, like, every marriage is an act of will, right? The marriage is about choosing to stay married.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting route of a way you could justify everything that's complicated about this woman. And I don't think the movie ever squares it with the late in life sexual awakening stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like Winona's telling her right now, like, you make it sound so unromantic. And she's like, well, it's how it is. And I think that's more interesting than what the movie ends up wanting to build towards, which I think is like late in life sexual awakening stuff can be a little like paint by numbers, and the way this movie plays it is very paint by numbers. We have to remember this is all in the wake of Monica Bellucci's suicide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff is checked.
I'm not.
Here's the thing. I have to go pee, but like I don't want to leave you by yourself.
I'm about to lock back in.
Jeff, I'm going to go pee. If I go pee, is Cole going to have
I'm locking back in for Pippa Lee.
Participant. Okay.
I'm locking back in for Pippa Lee.
And I'm going to the bathroom.
Pippa Lee. Okay. So we talked about Keanu.
The same number of letters as Joe Biden.
Yes.
If you think about it.
If you fundamentally think about it. Now you're trying to get me back off the topic. So here she is.
Oh my God.
What?
Trump had a heart attack.
What?
I'm fucking with you.
Oh my god. What if he got the new? That'd be so crazy. Okay. So here, did we talk about her sleepwalking?
I touched on it a little.
So like, it's kind of weird, like the bit this movie does with her sleepwalking, where it's like every night Robin Wright sleepwalks out of the house, goes to the store and buys a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then comes home,
Smokes the whole thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't smell like it. Doesn't have the taste of it in her mouth. Her lungs are fine.
Because now she's like finally at the point where she is like in the middle of the day, disassociating and like having these sleepwalking episodes while awake. I like the vision of Keanu as a mobile.
This movie looks so ugly. Is the other thing. It's so drab, and it's a shame because it's shot by a great cinematographer.
Yes, there's a shot late in the movie that Becca was like watching me watch this.
Yeah,
and like it's a 2-shot of Zoe Kazan and Robin Wright sitting like talking about how Alan Arkin has had a heart attack or aneurysm of some sort, and it cuts away from this 2-shot of them to a side profile, except it cuts into the side profile out of focus with Robin Wright blocking Zoe Kazan. And then after like 3 to 4 seconds, Zoe Kazan leans in and it's like focus on her face. But it's inconceivable why they cut in that early, because you're just like watching the side of Robin Wright's face out of focus for like 3 seconds before something happens. This movie just has a poor sense of rhythm to it.
Yeah. Now, it is shot by Declan Quinn, who I think is the most decorated cinematographer in the history of the Indie Spirit Awards. Maybe Elswit and Libatique are up there too, but tying him.
A graduate of Columbia College Chicago.
No way, really?
Yeah, Declan Quinn.
Good for him. Shot a lot of Jim Sheridan movies, shot a lot of Mira Nair movies.
Stuart, the DP of this movie, went to the same school as all of us.
Worked with Jonathan Demme a bunch late in life. Has just shot Rachel Getting Married, which is one of the more beautiful movies.
What a great movie!
I guess he was just tired.
This movie, the thing about this movie is I thought about this watch. I didn't even clock that he shot that too. Is this movie just makes me want to watch Rachel Getting Married? Yeah, it has like that kind of a lot of tone to it.
I mean, should this movie be shot on DV? Because he's done a lot of movies shot on DV. Personal Velocity is a big early DV projection. I just don't like the I think they want it to look kind of antiseptic and bland because of the locations. But it's just beige. It's a beige movie, and there's not enough like.
Do you really get retirement home vibes?
No,
as much as you should be getting.
Not at all. Have you ever, guys? Retirement homes have staffs,
and retirement homes that's a line of dialogue in this movie.
Yeah,
what else tells us it's a retirement home?
This is problem number one. They're not in a retirement home. They're in a retirement community. But the movie, I don't think, understands the distinction. Between those two things.
I just want to say, I texted my family, Joe Biden dropped out. My dad's response, now what? My response, he just endorsed Kamala. My dad's response,
It's because Kamala's going to fucking eat Trump alive in a debate.
Yeah.
It's just
she'll hit him with she'll hit him with the coconut stare because he's too context pilled.
Need to once again state that they had a debate before the conventions because the Biden camp wanted it to happen because they thought they were going to destroy Trump. So I think look, we can talk about Joe Biden's narcissism and we can talk about a lot of these people being dead enders because they have money to make off Biden if him stays in. But what we really can talk about is that all these people have deluded themselves into not believing their own lying eyes. Yeah. That's what really went down here is that all these people were so invested. If people in the room with him.
Yeah. If the debate hadn't happened until fall, which is tradition, Joe Biden would be the nominee.
Yeah.
They asked for the debate to be moved up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we're going to crush Trump in this. And
that's what
now he has dropped out as a result of their decision. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Nothing ever happens. Bros are dead in the water.
Okay, but to be fair,
Trump
often
gets-
nothing does ever happen.
Yeah, nothing does ever happen. Usually,
Yeah,
is the case.
I am normally a proponent of nothing ever happening, but yeah.
That's my cat just brushing her cone. She got spayed a couple weeks ago.
Yes. All right. So
Private Lives Pippa Lee.
yeah, Private Lives of Pippa Lee. What else like is there to talk about with this movie?
That's the thing is like we haven't talked for that very long, but like I honestly think like we're just now getting to the
No, those are some fucking Columbia College ass windows.
yeah.
Let me say, I was on a D2 once, and they were, it wasn't mine, and they were setting up like the lights, and we were just doing something, and they were like, all right, it's finished, and I like scoffed and I was like, Columbia window, and the entire like cinematography squad like turned and gave me a death glare, and I'm like, guys, you know what it's a thing.
Yeah.
There is a specific way they like to light outdoor windows at the school we all went to that looks really ugly, that is very recognizable, and I think they mostly do it because it's how our most prominent alumni has made his signature style.
Yeah,
But you can tell when someone went to Columbia from the windows.
because Janusz Kaminski went to Columbia.
And he likes the really blown out windows.
Yes, like Lincoln is like his ultimate example of the blown out windows. Lincoln looks good.
Lincoln looks awful.
Lincoln looks great.
Janusz has made one good looking movie in his entire career.
More like good.
He has
that
made
was crazy.
one good looking movie in his entire career, and it's The Post.
How do we feel about
Straight
How do we feel about Arkin in this movie?
He's doing the Arkin thing. It's incredibly boring. I don't like old man Arkin. He just gave the one crotchety old Jewish man performance, but like. Okay, I've never liked Arkin, but I watched Going in Style recently, and now I like Arkin less because Going in Style is three guys giving Arkin type performances.
Yeah.
To the extent that he's in the remake.
Oh, he is.
He's in the Zach Braff remake.
But like, there's just so much like depth and interesting way that like fucking what are their name? Who is it? It's Art Carney, it's George Burns, and it's Lee Strasberg are like playing with so much space. My cousin just texted me a picture of JB Pritzker. We were recording that. I'm just like, Arkin is a very one note performer. He's always been a one. He was interesting when he was a young man. When he was a young man, he was a very exciting, fun movie star. It hits old age, and especially once he wins that Oscar, and he's just fucking playing the hits every single performance. I've never cared for him.
Because I quite like him in Edward Scissorhands.
He's good at I was more thinking like The In-Laws or The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
For something we've talked about on this show, in Edward Scissorhands, like he's quite good as like kind of the what would you call it? The aloof dad.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, so Eddie, how you doing? Like that, he has that kind of good energy, which he's not bringing any of that here.
Got to stand up for yourself in
good
school,
and
Eddie.
he's really, like everyone, he's very good at Glengarry Glen Ross.
Nobody's bad in that movie.
No one's fucking bad in that movie.
Imagine being bad in Glengarry Glen Ross. Embarrassing.
You guys should do someone who's in Glengarry Glen Ross.
We will almost certainly have to cover that at some point.
I've been Stuart, I don't know if Jeff's told you this, but I keep on like whispering in his ear that I think you guys should do Pacino.
No, Stuart, do you want to know why Cole wants us to do Pacino? Because he wants us to have to do Scent of a Woman, because he wants me to have to record a Scent of the Woman episode with you.
I think Pacino is right up your guys' alley, and I think you'd have a lot of fun doing
Stuart, have you watched Scent of a Woman?
No.
He won his Academy Award for that movie.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a career like retrospective of Academy Award.
Retrospective Academy.
It was. They didn't give it to him because that's his best performance.
Right.
Here's Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman. Hoo-ah! Yabba dabba doo! Hey, I'm sitting in the dock here!
I'm in the dock! I'm in the dock! I'm in the dock!
He plays a blind old guy.
Oh my God.
And like every scene in that movie, he walks in.
Horny.
Who's horny. And every scene in that movie, he enters by saying hoo-ah! Or yabba dabba doo!
I think you guys would have fun with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
we probably would have a lot of fun
I think that's a good layup for your show.
The Irishman would have to be our bit episode, though.
we would age through the context of the
Yeah.
we talk like that by the end.
Jeff,
I want you to know that my co-host would demand to be on Heat.
Of course.
He would shoot someone to
if he didn't be on Heat. Cole, Connor just wants to talk about it. Connor's going to be on the show very soon.
He is going to be on the show very soon.
What's Connor going to talk
The
about?
Iceman. It's in New Jersey.
A movie I forgot she was in.
Yeah.
You got to talk to him about season 4, by the way.
You should.
You should too. I'm not doing that for you.
All right.
What do we have to talk about in season 4?
Get Connor on.
Okay. We haven't booked anyone aside from the immediate circle.
You didn't put me on the other one I wanted, by the way, but it's fine.
What was the other one? Oh, I get. We shouldn't.
We'll talk.
We shan't say. We shan't say.
Okay. What? Oh, this is a really weird sequence where they composite her into some archival footage from the 60s.
It's the most visually interesting stuff in the movie,
Yeah.
but it's not the 60s, it's the 80s. It has to be the 80s. These people aren't hippies. They're downtown scenesters.
They're misfits.
Yeah. These
are people who listen to the Smiths.
The single best moment in the entire movie just happened, listeners, which to describe it for you is Blake Lively and a bunch of sexual party deviants are walking down a beach, and Robin Wright's narrating, and she mentions the guy she was dating at the time, and then she takes a beat and she's like, or maybe I was dating Jack, actually I can't remember, and as she does that, Blake Lively stops embracing one guy and shuffles over and puts her arm around the other guy, and I'm like, that's a fun memory play joke.
Yeah, right.
Why is the whole movie not doing interesting bits like that if you're willing to play in that space for a little bit?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So now what's happening on screen is we have Blake Lively, who is she now in her 20s at this point?
I think she's probably in her early 20s.
Early 20s. And then we have Alan Arkin, who's wearing a ball cap to hide his bad wig.
The wig is amazing.
It's okay. There's Monica Bellucci.
The problem with casting Monica Bellucci in this movie is I don't buy that Arkin would dump Monica Bellucci.
Well, to be fair, they don't really Bellucci it up.
Doesn't matter.
I think a little bit.
Oh, you guys about to get Bellucci pilled, I just realized. Look at this. Look at this fucking piece they put Arkin in to make him look young and sexy.
What the fuck? His voice isn't even different. It's just I'm a 50-year-old man now.
Yeah, I'm 50.
I'm 50.
I'm the age I was in Edward Scissorhands. Remember that?
It's no, you're not.
You loved Edward Scissorhands.
Not even close. Because, they cast a different actress. They couldn't cast a different actor?
Yeah.
Because, who could be, a young 50s Alan Arkin?
That is actually a good question.
That is a very good question.
That's not the language of Hollywood de-aging. You know what I'm saying? You cast younger to play, generationally younger, but, if someone's, old to old...
They say
they stay the same person, which is supposed to be what this movie's doing, right? Which is that the private lives of Pippa Lee, she becomes a different person by marrying him. We're gonna see that later when there's this montage of married life where it very smartly transitions from Blake to Wright.
Yeah.
You really need to double that in by having it be a third actress in the last scene, but that would confuse people because people aren't on my fucking level.
Yeah, and then this, I just never really, I don't know, this whole interaction between Blake and Herb Lee, just I never really bought this whole romance thing. He's her dad, but then she wants to fuck her dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying is
Then tell us she wants to fuck her dad.
The energy. I don't get what the movie's attitude towards the relationship is supposed to be. And if I don't get what the movie's attitude towards the relationship is supposed to be, then the entire movie doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's so central to the narrative.
Yeah. Because you could say that, maybe she just wanted to fuck Herb to say she fucked an old rich guy. But I don't think that's what it is.
Right,
but but you could say you could make the argument that that's what it was, and it spiraled into just she committed. Or you could go with what you said, which is she wanted stability and safety, and that's why she went with Herb. But I agree with what you're saying though, Colt. The movie doesn't fundamentally define that
because we didn't acknowledge it, and I'm only remembering it because we're about to get to it. The way she seduces him is to have the relationship be strictly platonic and have him then want to seduce her, right? She doesn't like come to him as this because right now the scene we're watching right now, he's basically telling her that like what he admires about her is this like joie de vivre, right? And so she comes to him and is like, what if you become like a mentor figure to me? And she basically then waits for him to get horny rather than the standard, like what I think is the standard depiction of, you know, like trophy wives is you like hit him with the sexuality first.
Yeah.
An interesting idea because this question that like the relationship from both of them as like beyond sex, beyond love, it's about respect almost in a way. And then we start getting into like fucking Hal Hartley territory. But that's, again, interesting dynamics of a relationship on screen that I've seen Rebecca Miller depict in other movies, including other movies about younger women having relationships with older men.
Jeff, do you have any thoughts?
Because that's what her next movie is going to be about.
Gun to your head, Jeff. What are your thoughts?
Gun to my head. Well, Monica Bellucci's putting a gun to her head.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's like 20 minutes from now.
No, like this movie just like it has a take, but it never does anything like it never is interested in probing that take.
What is its take?
Like what Cole was just
What
saying.
does it
like,
take? I don't think it does.
Like this movie is about like the way that women get trapped into these like cycles and like trying to settle down and never really discovering who they are. That's I think what this movie's trying to do, but it's not interested in probing any of that.
But I don't even think that's what it's...
Was she trapped?
I don't think she's ever trapped.
I didn't think she was ever
question.
trapped. Oh, I think she's
trapped with her religious mother at the beginning, and then she's kind of just like wild and free for a little bit. And she's looking to settle, and she's looking for like, what is my purpose? And like, she's being told she like needs this purpose. She finds Herb, and she gets with Herb, and just kind of is in this like unhappy relationship.
I think what you are describing is the obvious and generic version of this movie, and I think this movie is 5% smarter and more interesting than what you just described. The problem is 5% is just the right level of like playing with the formula that none of it ends up making sense rather than you're like doing your own interesting thing. I almost want to watch the more generic version that Jeff has described.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's just a little more complicated than that in every single way.
I
but
do too,
not so
but-
much more complicated that it is worth my time.
that one of the critic reviews, I think it was a Hollywood Reporter that said like, this is the kind of movie that critics want to desperately like, but it just doesn't quite ever cross that like finish line of like being, I don't want to say up its own ass, like, but like it needs to be up its own ass further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Right? It's like it's like it put a pinky just a little bit up there.
All right, calm
and
down.
needed to put like, you know,
All right.
but so like, yeah, I just think it needed to be up its own ass a little bit more.
I think when you guys put this episode out, you should not do anything to indicate that anything weird happened on this episode.
Oh, we will simply not.
Yeah, just say like this is a normal episode of the podcast.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Poor Keanu. So where?
Yeah, we got-
Is he good? Is he good at this movie?
No, he's not good in this. He has no handle on the character.
Here's what Keanu has done.
So this is 5 years after Constantine.
Yeah, you've been in Constantine?
I think I said that, and then you started screaming about Joe Biden.
Yes.
because you found out. So
he is in Constantine,
Yeah.
and then he's in Scanner Darkly.
Yes.
Basically immediately after. And then here's the run after Scanner Darkly. The Lake House, Street Kings,
people.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Okay. So this
It's
is
like-
right after Day of the Year.
Yeah, this is immediately after Day the Earth Stood Still.
People love the Lake House. Street Kings was maybe thought of at point at being a serious movie. Day of the Earth Stood Still is a bomb, but it is a massive studio Keanu movie star play. So I don't necessarily know that I think he's in a bad period. I think the bottom's about to fall out for him as a star.
I actually like Keanu in The Day the Earth Stood
I've
Still.
never seen it. It's the
You
only.
haven't seen the Keanu Day the Earth
You
Stood
want
Still?
you want to see something? Hear something crazy? It is the only Scott Derrickson movie I have not seen. I'm a hardline Scott Derrickson tourist. I've seen everything, including the straight to video
Jennifer
stuff.
Connelly, Kyle Chandler,
Yeah.
and
Because
man,
after this, he does Henry's Crimes.
Well, this is when it's bad. Like immediately
Generation
after this is when we're
Man
in
of Tai Chi, 47 Ronin.
Okay, now Man of Tai Chi is one of the great American films, to be clear. Man of Tai Chi is a masterpiece. But like immediately after this is the period of like what he needed to come back from with John Wick. The Man of Tai Chi is actually John Wick 0. So if you like John Wick, you should be fucking watching Man of Tai Chi. It's a great movie.
Because in 2014 is John Wick and he's back.
He's back. John Wick, a movie that was supposed to go straight to video, but they decided the last second to play it at a film festival. And I was at that screening, and I remember how people reacted to that movie.
And it's kind of funny that like in between John Wick 1, 2, 3, he doesn't really do that much of like note. Like it's not like his comeback is supported by other things. It's after John Wick 3 that he's in Always Be My Maybe, Toy Story 4, the SpongeBob movie, Bill and Ted 3, Cyberpunk, Matrix 4.
There we go.
Like he suddenly has a comeback.
Yeah. There's only 5 years, like more time has passed between now and John Wick 3 than between John Wick 3 and John Wick 1. It's only 4.5 years because John Wick 1 is a late in the year movie.
Yeah. And he's still like kind of is in that spot, I feel like culturally.
Stuart is Googling who is John Wick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I like him in Day the Earth Stood Still because he's, doing his Neo bit.
I mean, he's probably good in it. I've just never seen I haven't seen every Keanu movie, to be clear. I have not seen 47.
You came to save the Earth from us.
God, he's in Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Kathy Bates plays the
he's voicing
secretary.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Kathy Bates plays the Secretary of Defense
Idris
in that
Elba
movie.
play Shadow?
No, Idris Elba plays Knuckles.
Those are different characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Knuckles has the fists, and Shadow is like Sonic, but
he's gonna be in Ballerina.
Yes,
that's bad idea.
He's in Ballerina. So is God, what's his name? He just passed away.
Joe Biden. Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick.
Secret Service. That was not a threat.
Okay, I think that
maybe cut that out.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's time we loop back to the Winona.
Can
of
I
it
just
all.
briefly tell you what Keanu's got on the plate?
Yes, hit me with it.
Aziz Ansari has made a different movie. Yes. So this is not the Aziz Ansari movie that got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this. Stuart.
Yeah, I know about his movie.
Oh.
Aziz Ansari was in the process of making a movie that he directed and starred in. And production got shut down because Bill Murray couldn't stop sexually harassing the makeup people. And it never picked back up. So instead, Aziz Ansari just made a different movie, which is a fucking like Keanu plays his guardian angel who's trying to get his wings.
What?
And befriends Aziz Ansari and teaches him life lessons movie.
All right. Understood.
And then he's starring in Jonah Hill's next movie. Ugh.
Yeah. Should we loop back to the Winona of it all?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think it's a real ham sandwich performance. And I think with a lot of the performances of this movie, I'm like, I feel like you didn't get good direction. And she's the one, I know you think she's funny.
Yeah.
She's the one where I'm like, I really feel the lack of direction because she's just so tonally disparate from everything
She has nothing.
else.
She has no connection to the rest of the movie. That's correct. Like, but I just think like the movie that she's in is kind of the one I want to be watching. You get what I mean, Stuart?
No, say that again.
Like Winona, the tone she's playing in is different than anyone else in this movie.
Yes.
Like everyone else is acting like they're in a different movie.
Yes.
But the movie she's in is kind of the one I want to watch.
Oh, like
Winona's treating this as like a
the
screwball comedy.
kooky early 2000s screwball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like Katharine Hepburn style, like screwball comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what Winona's playing this movie as.
Yeah, yeah.
Stuart, I know you only put this movie on for one reason, so I'm just letting you know that if you don't start paying attention, you are going to miss Blake Lively's boobs.
Well, I say that as a point of like
Threw him
uncomfortability.
under the bus right there. You don't actually, to be clear, the Blake Lively nude scene in this movie is one of the funniest I've ever seen in my life because it is like incredibly awkwardly composed to showcase that she's completely naked while not showing anything, and B, Arkin is fully clothed. It's so
weird.
It has
funny. It's one of the more I can see the contracts on the screen.
Yes.
nude scenes I've ever seen.
It has
in a
similar
movie.
energy to Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1.
Yes.
Which has a sex scene in it where it is Kevin Costner laying down, seemingly asleep,
Not very happy with what's happening.
with like a woman on top of him, like riding him, and he's just laying there, and you're like, Kevin, are you asleep? Like, did you fall asleep filming this?
Oh my
I
god.
want Blake Lively
he's
to
fully
be in
clothed.
movies again. I'm just gonna say.
Well, she's
that.
going to be in a movie next week.
Yeah, but I want her to be here being good movies.
What movie
again.
next week?
She's going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is that coming out next
She's
week?
in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
No, because she's actually in a movie in 2 weeks. Jeff.
Do you know who she's in the movie?
I
next
don't
week?
think she plays Lady Deadpool. I think that's a fake out. I
pretty
think
sure
Ryan Reynolds plays Lady Deadpool. That's going to be the joke.
Nah, they're going to have her do it.
So she's in. So she has a movie coming out later in like a few weeks. Like will be out by the time this episode comes out. That is her first movie in 4 years, and frankly, doesn't look very good. I will go see it because I am a Blake Lively soldier. She is shooting A Simple Favor 2, which sounds like a disaster, but I love A Simple Favor.
I never saw it.
Oh my God, Stuart. Jeff, have you seen A Simple
I've not.
Favor? What if we all watched A Simple Favor right now? Brother fucker. Brother
You know what this movie makes me
fucker.
more excited to talk about?
Brother fucker.
And it's the next movie you're going to be on for, Cole.
Destination Wedding.
Yeah.
That movie's fucking insane, bro.
It makes me really excited to talk about Destination Wedding because it's like nothing can be like if Destination Wedding is there's only two options. Either it's less bland than this movie, Prevalence Pippa, or more bland. Either or, I'm hyped for. Like I'm hyped for a more bland version of this.
No, Destination Wedding is weird. It's not maybe great, but it's a weird one.
I'm happy.
Do we have anything else left to... There we go. See, you can see the nudity writers on screen functionally.
He is fully clothed.
If you understand listeners,
I
like
can't afford to take
This
the
is
shirt
so
off.
fucking weird though.
listeners,
She's 21. He's
I
70.
get that. Whatever. It's they're working. It's whatever. Listeners, if you don't know this, like nudity on screen is, especially if we're dealing with people who are names like Arkin and Lively. Even at this point, she's done Sister of the Traveling Plan. She's a name. Like all that stuff is like contractually laid out when they're like signing on to the movie. So when you see a like half nude scene like this that's this weird, it is the result of like active negotiation on both both agents' parts.
That is a weird thing about Hollywood. It's
Yeah.
like you have to bargain for a tit.
Yeah, well, you
It's like
should, but you
essentially
should.
what it is.
To be clear,
But
you should.
To be clear, like you should, but isn't that kind of just sit weird with you? It's like
No, because the
we want
alternative,
two tits.
because the
You're like,
alternative
you couldn't
is
get
like
one.
The alternative is that one practicum where they made the lady take her shirt off and shut down practicums at Columbia for like 2 months. If you remember that,
I remember that.
When was this?
This was in like 2017, 2018.
I would have been. No, that would have been before me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, the alternative is that you do loosey-goosey stuff. I'm just saying, sometimes you see, like, incredibly bizarrely composed shots, like naked Blake Lively lying on top of fully clothed
Alan
Alan Arkin in a way that you basically only end up seeing her bare shoulder.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I see what
hours
happened.
of billable, like so much billable hours resulted in this one shot that frankly doesn't need to be in the movie. It doesn't give you
That's the thing
anything.
ultimately is that it doesn't have to be there. There's no
Because when
benefit.
you
to it.
end up with something that unerotic, I'm like, just cut it. I love seeing nudity on screen, but when I'm like that, I'm just a waste of everyone's time. And like awkward on set, even if she's definitely wearing like panties and pasties, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just awkward for everyone.
It's uncomfortable for everyone and doesn't benefit anything in this movie. My iPad died. That's why I'm folding it up.
Do we have anything else to say about this movie, or can I say the thing I was been saving for the end?
I think that's everything we've said.
I think that's everything.
So I will say this.
It's everything we have time for.
I thought this, we do have to cut. I thought this was a dumb kids movie. And when I thought this was a dumb kids movie, I was going to come in here with a bit that I was like going to completely derail the conversation.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was a real movie by a real director. And I was like, well, I have to be respectful to her because she's an interesting filmmaker and I want to engage with this movie seriously. And now watching this movie and it being like such a half-assed thing, I do think I should have come in here and said, so I did watch Gotti this morning. And I
my
do
God.
wish that we had had the Biden conversation in the middle of the Gotti conversation.
We only talk about Gotti. Oh my God, that would have been such a good bit. One day you'll watch Gotti.
Never.
One day.
I did once pledge that I would never watch Gotti.
Yeah, you'd read the book though.
I did read a book about it.
in order to be on our podcast.
Yeah.
That's true. I think that's everything there is to
I
say
still
about
maintain that you should have done one episode every season. That was, if we just keep going for 30 more minutes, we will finish it, and I can log it twice on Letterboxd.
That would be very fun.
I know.
Oh, this is the scene where she's going to shoot herself in the head.
Monica Bellucci going to shoot herself.
Monica Bellucci also in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
This is a real. This movie is a real. There are hours where nothing happens.
Yes,
and there are hours where minutes happen and minutes where hours.
Hold on, I'm going to turn the volume up on this one. Put the gun down.
No, don't shoot yourself, please.
Isn't it funny how men always marry women who are easier and easier to balance?
Oh man! So there were 3 Winona Monica Bellucci collaborations. I've just put this together because she is in Dracula. You're right.
What was the third one?
You haven't covered it yet.
What is it?
It hasn't come out yet. It's Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah, she is in Beetlejuice. Oh, yeah, good catch, good catch.
We did say it 3 times. We did say it 3 times.
2 different people said it
collectively.
3 times.
Beetlejuice. I said it 4 times. So what happened?
Hey! You ready for another? Stuart, the listener at home has crashed their car. The listener at home has crashed their car. They are unsubscribing from
Holy
the show.
shit. Trump just said Vance is no longer his VP.
Nice.
His VP is Beetlejuice?
Hey!
Oh, God.
I still think he should be on that episode.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say?
No.
This is the best one we've ever done.
I think this
I
is...
don't remember this bit of the movie
This
whatsoever.
This has similar energy to the Cambria episode, I think.
My
This
mom
movie
loved that, by the way.
is one of our best. This movie makes like $2 at the box office.
It makes under
400,000.
I had this. Okay, can I just tell you movies that this movie places under in its
Yes.
first week? This movie opens at number 38, placing immediately under The Box in its 4th week, which is funny. Red Cliff, the hasty re-edit of 2 John Woo movies into 1 John Woo movie. Surrogates, remember Surrogates? G-Force, and Broken Embraces.
This movie just doesn't exist
This
when
is
it comes
now.
out.
Do you know what movie opens this
What
week?
weekend? What movie?
Is the highest open, the highest grossing new release. This movie opens at number 4 with $16 million. This is November 27th, 2009. It is a Disney film. Can you guess it?
Zootopia.
No.
Princess and the Frog?
Covered it on this podcast.
Bolt?
2009.
Is it Bolt?
No.
We covered it on this podcast?
Yep, because Bolt comes out in 2007.
True. It's not Princess and the Frog. We
It's
haven't talked
an
about it.
American masterpiece. One of the
Journey to the
great
Center of the Earth.
films.
No.
It's called Old Dogs.
Oh, old dogs.
Same weekend as Old Dogs.
Your new releases this movie are Old Dogs, Ninja Assassin, and The Road, which is a real
That is
death
a
to
real-
all audiences. So yeah, this is when you find out that
Yeah,
Winona.
I like this. That's a good joke. That's a good video gag right there.
Yeah.
She opens the door like a quarter of the way, sees Winona and go, ah! And shuts the door.
Now, Princess and the Frog does open this weekend because this is when Disney is still doing limited rollouts. So they Disney for a very long time would literally open their movies in 2 theaters the week before the proper opening, which just fucks with the box office data for some weird reason.
So,
Paranormal Activity has crawled past $100 million 3 weeks ago.
yeah. That's all we have to say. This movie flops. No one goes to see it.
Yeah.
Well, it opens in 12 theaters. To be
It
clear.
opens in 12 theaters. It doesn't do it's just it is nice to see Winona in a movie with other actors again of note.
Hey, Simon
nice.
Baker's a professional.
He's in that movie.
Yeah.
What you got next?
But folks, we're going right back into it next week because we're not out of this period yet. Because next week we're talking about Stay Cool.
that movie came out in that's
That's
Be
Cool.
Cool's in 2005.
That's a Travolta movie that
What
we've
the
also
fuck is Stay Cool?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's nothing.
I will. Okay, why do you guys have this at this slot? Does this play a festival? Because I know you haven't done Star Trek, right?
We have not done Star
But
Trek.
Star Trek comes out 5 months before this movie does. Let me figure out what's going on here.
It had a release listed before
it plays
this.
at the Berlin Hall. This played competition in Berlin? Oh, Sean Astin.
Giving the best performance in the movie, probably. Anyway, next week you have Stay Cool to look forward to. We're joined by Alex Wilson.
Okay,
back.
it plays out of competition at the Berlin LA, so we're good.
Folks, I know we might not have discussed this movie as much as originally planned, but we hope you enjoyed this episode. And I hope we enjoyed. And hope you enjoyed
About
this.
Ellie was at that Berlin. That movie's great. You guys should do a fucking.
And we hope you enjoyed this throwback to the day Joe Biden announced he was not running for re-election anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great rest of your week.
If you guys do Ghost Shift to Farahani, you get to do Patterson and both Extraction movies and About Ellie. I'm just putting that out there.
It's a good lineup.
I love.
Look at this. We're finishing exactly on time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode on Private Lives of Pippa Lee. Enjoy our episode next week on Stay Cool. We're 2 episodes away from Star Trek, which starts a big turning point in Winona's career. As always, special thanks to Rebecca Johnson and Michael Van Bodingham Smith for the artwork and theme music. At Travolting Pod, Twitter or Instagram. Like, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you're on. It helps out our show tremendously. That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to plug? Yeah, Cole, you get to plug. You get to plug your show.
I don't feel like it.
Listen to Above
no
the
one's
Title.
allowed to listen to it. This is my new proclamation. No one's allowed to listen to it. But I do want you to go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review and only just use it as a letterbox alternative. I'm trying to get this going.
Just get people to write reviews under.
Review my podcast every time you watch a movie on Letterboxd. You don't have to listen to the podcast.
At Above the Title on all the podcast places. It's a great show. I've been on a few times.
It's only on Instagram. We don't have a Twitter.
No, I mean, it's all on all the podcast places.
Yeah, except for Spotify.
Anyway, have a great week, folks. See you next time for Stay Cool. Stay safe.